Howdy folks, and welcome back to this Let's Play of Stellaris. Currently playing as the humanoid species, the Human Psychic Foundation, or the Psychic Empire, whatever you want to call it. So we had basically been invaded here, because we built a frontier outpost too close to our enemies here, unfortunately. So I need to reinvest in getting a spaceport up and running here. Once that's up and running, I will basically have to invest in basically expanding that once again. Now, at the end of the last episode, we did meet a new enclave. I believe it is these guys here. Have I got relationships with these guys? No, not yet. Now, I could, of course, ask them for aid in the research. We could ask them to basically get a scientist of theirs, but we can also ask them about the beauties of any of the items in the world. What can we ask them? What else do you have on offer? Tell us about the dimensional horror. You might actually stand a chance if you combine your entire fleet. It wouldn't be an easy victory, mind you, but one that is at least within the realm of possibility, okay? Right, let's ask about the Ether Drake or Ether Drake. How would our current fleet fare? Okay, we stand a chance. At least that's a positive note, I would say. So I could potentially take on this horror here, or I could actually take on this one here. Aggressive stance. Okay, well, let's for the moment just see how and what. I'm hoping to get that back into orbit quickly, so at least we can reduce our output for maintaining the fleet here. Now, one of the things I do need to do now, because of the changes in the leadership, I need to basically assign a new leader towards Alpha Centauri here. So we need to recruit a brand new one here. Recruiting this one in place. Placing them on the planet itself. Job's done. I'd still love to be able to colonize that world there at some point or another. Let's see what is happening to our borders. Have we got any new systems within our reach? Not yet, it looks like. Ooh, it does now look like this one is within my... Actually, it was within my borders already, and I've actually picked up the energy already from there. So that's good. Any other systems that are now within my reach? Right, so that one is just outside of both of our empires, which is fine. We got active sensor links with these guys here. Exceed our foundation as well. Where do we stand in terms of research? We are standing in a pretty good position, and as you can see, our cheaper war demands is becoming available within 2 months' time. 6 months for the next interplanetary research initiative. As you can see, our Society of Research has got a tremendous boost.
Research complete.
Alright, there we go. Frontier Hospital. Or food increase. I'm gonna go for the food increase. 4 months for the next one. As you can see, plus 33, plus 38, and plus 35. So various different positive percentages on here, which is great. Shows me at least that I got a chance of defeating some of my enemies in the near future. Once, of course, I got all the upgrades in place. Alright. The Oscox had to cede all of their planets to the collective here. Hold on. these guys now grown here as well? I'm not quite sure. How do I compare to them?
Research complete.
Their fleet is inferior, their naval capacity is inferior, and their technology level is equal. But they are members of that alliance. And we did finish that research. Ooh. Quantum destabilizer. What does that do? Agitates the local quantum fields, disturbing sensitive targeting equipment aboard hostile ships. Field manipulators. Now this might be an interesting one. Dark matter. But let's go for that quantum destabilizer first. That's a relatively cheap one. Relative because of course there's only 33 months, 7,000 points required, whereas the other ones were like 20,000 approximately. So first off to complete is the Ripper autocannon, and let's see shortly afterwards what else we can see coming through. Right, let's have a look at these guys here. I'm still an associate, as you can see. Minus 22. What's the main item there? War philosophy. War philosophy allows war of aggression, minus 50. Really? Have we got such a war philosophy? Let me just double check my settings then. Policies. War philosophy. Unrestricted war. Ah, okay. Liberation war. Let's set it to that. At least it fixes that for 10 years. That should hopefully also make it easier. There you go. I can join that federation. If I'd only noticed that earlier, that would be so much easier. We successfully translated the language. Perfect. We're delighted to meet you. Interesting. We've encountered some form of alien vessel in the solar system. These strangers have been flagged as galactic nomads, but they are unable to pick up on our communication. Impossible to translate the language. Now, have we just done that already? I think we have. So where are those nomads now? I don't see them. Okay. Good. We're part of the Federation now. Which is good. Makes our life hopefully significantly easier. It looks like we are in the top of the range in terms of planets owned. We've got 17 planets in our hands. The next biggest got 18. If I were to have a look at production options here, I don't seem to have any options of producing Federation ships at the moment. Unless I'm mistaken, no, I just don't see them. But that's okay. We've still got a slight shortage in terms of energy output. Kinetic artillery, what do I want to go for? MA. Let's go for the flak battery. I did basically invest in getting that space station up and running here, didn't I? So let's upgrade that as much as I can. And get then at least the solar panels already in place. Let's just see where that takes us. If I look at my various different sectors, what is the actual outcome? These guys have got nice positive outcomes here. Research agreement, they want some of my minerals. I'm quite happy to basically give them some of that. I'm running a positive balance again on my energy credits. It's +1. Ooh. If only I could reduce some of the other outputs somewhere. So these guys here, I've got armies in place. I'm gonna bin these. Just paying maintenance at the moment for them and I don't really need them. And this is on Chara Prime, which is on the east side of my map, as you'll see in a second. Now that's already given me a +3. I don't have any extra armies here, do I? Now that was historical information, isn't it? That's from the last month. So hopefully that drops down to 0. Ah, good. Army damage increased. Station maintenance, building maintenance, army maintenance, whole raft of maintenance costs to be paid. Just double checking all the surfaces, making sure there's no upgrade options available anymore. This one's migrating, but this is migrating to, it looks like an other civilization's planet, which is fine by me. Spreading our wings to some extent. Oh boy. Okay. We are into the negative balance once again. Why? I am not quite sure. Maybe someone has moved away from an energy production facility. That could well be a cause of one of those. I don't see any further migration taking place. Now these guys here were very, very unhappy, as you will see. Okay, there we go. We bring alarming news, human. Contact with our colony on the New Bodrak has been lost. They have no longer responded to any of our satellite transmissions and we fear the worst. Perhaps the aliens who bombarded our original homeworld have returned to finish the job. Please send a ship to investigate.
Situation
We'll send a ship
updated.
pretty much imminently. Let's just make sure we can actually go there. Okay. Now I've got, of course, a civilian ship I can send there. I just need to choose which one. This one is the most likely here. Let's go for that research project. And as you can see, I actually should have moved them back. I forgot to do that earlier. Unfortunately, but yeah, that's just the case in this instance. Negative balance.
Incoming transmission.
I'm quite happy with the research agreement here. Still another 9 months to go for both of these technologies here. 33 and 35% in terms of boosts. How much does that ship cost to me? I'm not quite sure. Disbanding them, and that basically gives me a slight positive now. Right, so we got our fleets over here, it looks like. Not too far away from where we are at the moment. Actually, it's on exactly on the opposite side, isn't it? Confused by that because the color was very, very similar. Open a channel. Greetings from the New Bodrak Revolutionary Front. We've thrown off the jokes of oppression and are at the last free from the tyranny of Balderak. We have no quarrel with you, human psychic, as long as you retain from aiding the Balderak imperialists in their inevitable attempt to crush our revolution. You could help us take the flight to our enemy, however. Would you be willing to deliver one of our commando units to We want to infiltrate Baldrock with one of our elite commando units. They will then incite a popular uprising against the decadent elite that lord over our people. After the tyrants have been deposed, all Datnak will at last know that it is to have true freedom. A straightforward plan, if there ever was one. We won't get involved in internal politics. We wouldn't want the revolution to spread. Of course you're not. Okay. Ah well, whatever. Anyways, that ship here, I should really send back to probably Sirius here, and then started to have a assist in research. Arctic world here, there is another Tundra world there of size 20, which is quite favorable. There's another size 15 world here. The High Inquisitor has gained a level. I speak on behalf of the lawful Dathna government of Baldrock. We've received a manifesto from the group that has seized control of New Baldrock, and boy, what a bunch of hogwash. These brigands and anarchists are a terrible embarrassment to us. Human Psychic, will you help us stomp out these little revolution before it spreads out here and someone actually gets hurt? General Paltanak has prepared an expeditionary force to retake the colony. I'm letting them solve their own problems. Yeah, I'll be sorry once the revolution spreads to my planets. I'm not quite sure that will be the case, but so be it. I will be sorry, I guess.
Research complete.
Research is completed. Here, let's choose a new item of research. Ooh, neutronium ore. Armor increase, which is of course welcome. Our fleet is not due for an upgrade yet, so that's good. Another research agreement agreed upon.
Complete.
Scientist is leveled up. And we can do a new bit of research here. Engineering facilities here. I think I'm gonna go for that one there. Yeah, that should give me a pretty nice boost in the future. Now, even though this is 24,000, that one is 19,000, it looks like the durations are relatively equal. It's to do with, of course, the fact that I got more output in terms of physics than I got in terms of engineering. But okay, let's have a look at what we can actually do here on the planet. Now this is pure food production, that's pure food production. What could I do to replace this with? I could place a monument. I can maybe place also a research institute, but it requires 9 energy. Okay, let's actually replace this one here instead of that one there, because yeah, this is giving me less food to start off with, but the research institute would be quite welcome, it looks like. Psychor. Administrative operations is reduced by 10%. What else could I replace here? I could replace this one here potentially. What do I want to replace it with? I could go for the visitor center here. Habitability is increased, but maybe not. Let's go for the monument here. Let's replace that as well. Let's go to the next planet here. The next one in the line. And what could I actually potentially do here? It looks like that person is not happy whatsoever. Let's see what I can do to replace this with something more beneficial. Alright, it looks like once I got one in place, that is pretty much it for what I can do. So let's leave that as it stands. I'm getting +5 now. Yep, there is some improvement, but it's not massive. So what are the colony ships costing me at the moment? Yeah, there's a quite high maintenance cost for those, isn't there? They got an ocean preference. Let's have a look. There is a planet here that I could colonize. It'll cost me 30 to colonize. How can I actually reduce my costings here? Or how can I actually reduce... We are federated. Pre-sentient survival, recent uplift, no purges, no species-wide slavery. Yeah. Strategic resource dominance, control at least 10 strategic resources. Non-violence. Embattled minority, unhallowed ground. People in paradise. Born equal. We refrain from enacting policies that favor the ruling elite will please the popular vote council. Ah. Okay. Let's have a look at our actual policies that are in place. So what does Map the Sky do for me? Further galactic exploration to bring light. Okay, that's not really of any use whatsoever. It'd be great if it was of some use, but it is not. Right, I got some colony ships ready and waiting here for me. Gorv. I'm going to delete this ship here. Should give me a little bit of extra in terms of available energy. Tomb World we got here. In terms of research, what's the next available item? Looks like it's another 21 months away, but that's that increase in food thanks to transgenics. Anyways, looking at the clock, it's about time for us to call it a day. So hopefully you did enjoy today's episode. Of course, we did join that Federation today. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.